Hello and welcome to another episode of Train Sim World 2, where I'm doing my best to drive virtual locomotives without causing major disaster. Or do I? Anyway, before we begin, I'd like to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and follow up with bell button to turn on the notifications and stay up to date with my latest content. I would also like to encourage you to join my Discord server, where you can interact with me and other Train Sim World fans, talk about the game in general, share some cool mods, or just chill. You can find link in description down below this video. Welcome back, and today, as predicted, we will continue our journey on Sandpatch Grade. In previous episode, if you remember, we performed loading at Show Mine and ran around at Yoder. So we should be ready to take our load of coal back to Cumberland. And that's exactly what we are going to do today. So let me switch to the game window. As you can see, that's the list of my missions. Sadly, I failed to achieve gold medals for loading and run around, which is a shame. Oh yeah, I really feel ashamed about it. I will have to eventually repeat those missions at one point, but we shall continue. Those operations were still performed correctly, perhaps not on the right time. And right now, let's get into this mission. Okay, so here we are. Coal, Yoder to Cumberland. In this fourth and final part of our Show Mine run, we take the loaded coal train back down the line to Cumberland. Make sure you're in correct cab, facing eastbound towards Cumberland before you set off. It should take us roughly around 90 minutes. Well, I think the route to Cumberland is slightly longer than 90 minutes, but we should pretty much get there roughly around that time. Our train is super heavy, and we have 5,443 tons in total. So this is super heavy consist. Right, so let's begin. Okay. Go via location, Sandpatch main eastbound. Okay. Right, so I will start from setting up my locomotives. Engine run on, generator fields on, control on. Dynamic brake is on, definitely. Step lights on, gauge lights on. Okay, let's set up air brakes. Okay, oh yeah, they are on cutout. No, that's definitely not the right setting. We are in lead locomotive, so let's save those settings. Okay, that is set. We can get onto this panel, and this is short hood lead. There we go. Number lights on. Cab, computer display, fuel pump. Okay, that looks good. Distributed power on. Short hood headlights on. Long hood headlights, they can be off. Window heaters, yeah, that could be useful. Refrigerator, nah, we don't need that. Heater is not exactly needed. We can eventually turn it on, but there is no need for such thing. Okay. Right, I think that's it. Let me just make sure that I can... Yeah, I will turn on the wipers. We got heavy rain today, so I'll set them on 100%. I might not need this one, but I shall turn this one as well. will improve my visibility. And oh my goodness me, it is raining, is it? Anyway, we're gonna need the power of the second locomotive, so let's go and set it up. Oh my goodness me, that rain. Ah. Right, let's go across. I can leave that open for now. Okay, we are in the second locomotive. So, what do we need? We can turn off the radio. We don't need that in the second locomotive. Distributed power is not needed. No, I don't want to give up control. Short hood headlights, they can be on. Long hood headlights, they may be off. Number lights on. Headlight control, that is long hood trail. Okay. I think that is it. On this panel, we need to turn off everything so that we can take control of every single aspect of this locomotive. Oh, right. Let me just check the air brakes. Okay, they are set correctly. Yes. And I think that's it. Handle off. Okay. That's good. Okay, so the setup of this locomotive is quite simple. We don't need to worry about too many things. Okay. On for lead, off for trail. Okay. Okay. Cap one on. Yeah, we can leave that on. Right, I think everything is set up correctly, so let's get back into our front cabin. Close the crossing, okay. Right, so we can get back to our seat. Nicely done. We can turn on the headlights. Okay. Let's release the brakes. Let's set reverser to forward. And we should be ready to go. In a very short time. We still need to remember... Oh, yeah. Banking com on. Alright, just in case, I still turned off the radio in trail locomotive. But just in case, the banking com is on. Okay. And we should be ready to go. I'm not sure... Okay, next signal is green. I can't see it from the distance, so that's gonna be difficulty for today. As you can see, the visibility is absolutely terrible. So normally, if I would have no UI elements that are telling me what is the state of the light up ahead, then I would have real trouble. Right, so let's get this bad boy on the move. Let's start from notch 2. And we are moving. We need to be very careful while moving, because obviously the game simulates the fact that the rails are slippery. So it is going to be a tough journey. Okay, I can actually grab a screenshot. Nice one. Right, so all we need to do now is to safely get to Cumberland. Okay, good. We are gaining speed. Not gonna rush today, because obviously the weather is absolutely terrible. Oh, there's a train going from up ahead. Ooh. That's an interesting consist. Well, I hope that when we progress a little bit further in this scenario, the rain will calm down a bit. But, well, you can never know. I'm not sure if the weather conditions can actually change during this scenario. Yeah, I never actually noticed if the weather conditions could change. But I hope for such change. Because otherwise, yeah, that low visibility might be problematic. Just look at this. I'm 100 yards away from the signal. If I jump back into the cabin, I can barely see the lights. Oh my goodness me, this is gonna be tough. Imagine if I would drive using only signal indicators. Oh my goodness me, this scenario would be really challenging. Thankfully, I'm not going for it. This game can be too annoying. And the fact that passing signal at danger happens just when your locomotive reaches with the front axle, like the level of the signal, that would mean that basically, yeah, this scenario would be really tough to do. Because even experienced drivers might make mistakes. Obviously, it requires perfect knowledge of the track, so and normally you have like radio communication, so drivers would probably reach out on the radio to nearby signaler and find out what the signals are, so they can adjust their speed. I don't have such ability. I can contact signaler, but it doesn't give me any actual indication on what the signals are. Right, I think I can go up by a notch. The next signal is yellow already. Which means that at Sand Patch I might probably encounter a short stop. We'll find out about it. Okay, we are going forward. What time is it? Oh, it's 5:21. Oh my goodness me. When we will finish this scenario, it's gonna be late evening. I need to keep that in mind. Okay, we've reached a new speed limit. Perfect. Right on time. Just as I was approaching 20 miles per hour. So let's go up by a notch. We are now on notch 4. Perfect. Well, this first section of our route is going to take us uphill. So for now we can benefit from power of both locomotives. However, the second part, which is sand patch to Cumberland, is gonna be definitely more challenging as we will be going down very steep hill. So dynamic braking is gonna be very important in that. Controlling our speed might be more challenging because of the rain, but we'll see how well it goes. So far, we are doing great. But the visibility is absolutely terrible. Not gonna lie, this is really tough scenario. Even with all that help turned on, I believe this is really going to be very hard scenario. Just because of that rain and fog. Right, let's go up by a notch. Let's see if we can increase our speed just a little bit. Well, it's not really going up. Okay, up to notch 6. Come on, I know you can do it. Ooh. We are actually slowing down, do we? Okay, let's go up by a notch, notch 7. Let's see if we can actually increase our speed. Doesn't look like we are. Okay. All the way up to notch 8. Come on, I know you can do it. There we go. The speed is increasing. So on notch 8, we can actually speed up. Okay, the next signal is yellow. But I have to remember, if the next signal is yellow, there's that nasty trap on sand patch. If you remember one of my previous episodes, right after that yellow signal, there is a dwarf signal that is most likely displaying red at the moment, because I just passed first yellow signal. So I need to be ready to stop almost immediately after I pass this signal. Okay, 2.1 miles. We managed to hit 23 miles per hour, but it doesn't seem like we are actually speeding up. I think that might be the limit of those two locomotives. So definitely we won't be the fastest train on the route. I wonder how well it's gonna go when we will be descending. If those locomotives can barely speed up on about 1% incline, I wonder what's gonna happen when we will be descending on nearly 2% incline. That's gonna be really tough. Okay, yeah, we are gaining some speed. There's still quite some distance to go. All right. Things are looking really good. Okay, another screenshot taken. Okay, beautiful. We are doing great. We are probably slightly late. But as always, I prefer to be late than sorry, especially when I'm moving cargo. When it comes to passengers, obviously you got your timetable and you are supposed to stick to it. And those scenarios are, wow. I remember some of them from Train Sim World 1. And I'm not gonna lie, they are not so well designed in some cases. You often start on the route shortly before your first station. Your locomotive is completely not set up, and you have to keep setting your locomotive up while at the same time already moving with a train, because otherwise you wouldn't make it on time. That's not the way things are supposed to go. Usually train driver gets into the locomotive way before it has to set off for its route, and then obviously he can set it up as he needs it, attaches to the wagons and carry on its merry way. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case in Train Sim World 1, and I believe that if they just ported some of the scenarios from the previous game, we might eventually see that happening again. Anyway, we are approaching the signal. We are just 400 yards away, still doing 20 miles per hour. That's why I'm slowing down a little bit. I will slow down to 15 miles per hour before that signal. Mostly because if there is another signal right behind it, I want to be able to stop. Okay. So far things are looking good. We slowed down to... Ooh, okay, I need a notch 4 at least. Okay, we passed this signal, but I don't see any signals close behind. Ooh, that might have been a mistake. Okay, let's go up to notch 5. Because right now we need to regain speed. And we are obviously still climbing uphill. Okay, okay, okay. Alright, so that might have been a slight mistake. But on the other hand, well, as always, it's better to be safe than sorry. The speed is rising, which is good. So we will be able to get to our destination. We definitely won't get stuck. I think I missed a whistle board back there, but we managed to spot that railway crossing way before we reach it. Okay, it's 2.4 miles. Okay, let's go up by a notch. Oh wow, this cargo really puts a lot of stress on those two locomotives. But they are doing a great job. I'm not gonna lie. It's just two locomotives and I'm pulling that heavy load. I think that's the heaviest load I pulled so far. So that's a huge achievement for just two locomotives. Obviously you can feel and you can see that they are very sluggish. But that's understandable. This entire consist is nearly 5,700 tons, if I remember correctly. Okay, we are on notch 8, doing 18 miles per hour. I still got 1.8 miles to go, so we can relax for now. Beautiful. Okay, things are going really smooth. But that may quickly change. I think that's another whistle board. Yes, it is. There we go. Ugh. We're almost there. Oh my goodness me. Looks like there was a landslide in here. So who knows what happened on the tracks. There might be some nasty surprises up there. Just because of that heavy rain. And I believe that our red light has something to do with one of those nasty surprises. Okay, 1 mile to go. We should soon be able to engage brakes. But for now, I can keep on climbing. Okay, I think that's the right time to release the throttle. The weight of the train will slow me down. Hopefully right on time. Ooh. Might be a bit too soon. But who knows? Let's go on notch 5. That should let me catch the speed at around 10 miles per hour, which will be sufficient to crawl to that signal and not overshoot it. Yeah, there's still 900 yards to go. Okay, 750 yards to red signal. Oh, okay, the signal changed green, so let's increase the throttle all the way up to notch 8, and we should be good to carry on. Thankfully, we will soon be able to switch from trying to speed up the train to trying to slow down the train. I'm not sure if I should be, well, thankful for that or not, but yeah, so far I feel thankful for that. At least we won't have to worry about the fact that we might not have enough power to pull the train. The problem is that I started to be afraid that we might not have enough power to actually slow down the train. Oh well, we'll find out. I'm sure everyone did the math on this one, or at least people that were sending me out for this route. And they know that my train will be super heavy. And most likely I will need specific amount of power in order to brake it. But, well, mistakes happen, isn't it? And who knows, that might be one of them. Nah, I'm absolutely sure we are properly set up for this route. Right, the speed limit is 30 miles per hour. But it's gonna go down along the route, so probably for most of the time we will be traveling at around 25 miles per hour. Okay. We've now crossed the peak of that hill. Obviously, large chunk of the train is still climbing up, but there is increasing chunk of the train that is not. I will set my reverser to reverse. Oh no, reverser is forward, but I'm gonna set up dynamic brake on notch B2. Okay, that seems to be sufficient. Is it? Or am I still speeding up? Hopefully I'm not. There might be slight increase. Okay, I will go up by a notch. Notch 3. I don't want to be slowing down, but I definitely don't want to speed up any further. 25 miles per hour is a safe speed, which should guarantee me that I won't go over the speed limits. Okay, that might be a little bit excessive. We'll see. I'll let the train slow down to about 20 miles per hour, and then I will go back by a notch. I think that will be appropriate. Okay, we can already see the end of the tunnel. The speed limit should go down to 30 miles per hour, or actually should stay at 30 miles per hour. But you can never know. Okay, let's go down to notch 2. There we go. All right. So we now reach the most challenging part of this route. This very steep hill. We traveled through this place very often, but usually we had massive excess of power. This time, the power is just right. So it will become much more challenging. We are currently on notch 3 on dynamic brake, and I can already see that my speed is climbing. Okay, speed limit remains at 30 miles per hour. I will go up to notch 4. Because the hill became much steeper. Okay, so far things are looking good, but the hill is very steep in here. So definitely we might see some increase in our speed. Okay, it looks quite stable. "21 miles per hour is, well, a decent speed. Okay. Oh, it is climbing. Yeah, notch 4 is not going to stop that weight. Not a chance. Okay. Notch 5. There we go. I'll try to find more or less perfect speed or perfect setting to go for. Nah, notch 6. And nope. Notch 7. Let's go all the way up to notch 8. I might need to help myself with the normal brakes, but that's understandable. Yeah, we are rapidly gaining speed. Minimum reduction. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. The speed is now stable. Okay, it is slightly decreasing on minimum reduction. But I just barely managed to catch it. Wow. This suddenly became really tough. Obviously the hill will become slightly less steep in a moment. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm still pulling very heavy cargo. Oh, there's a whistle board. So I'm gonna have to be very careful during this scenario. Definitely dynamic brake will assist me up until the end of this journey. Okay. I can release the dynamic brake or automatic brake for now. Dynamic brake will stay. And it will stay on notch 8. Because as soon as I fully release all the brakes, we might see some increase as the hill is still very steep. Okay, we are doing 21 miles per hour, which is very, very good. Okay, okay, we are moving forward. Oh, okay, the speed started to increase. Even on notch 8 of dynamic brake. So it's quite clear that these two locomotives are not powerful enough to fully stop the train using only dynamic brake. I can only slow it down. Okay. But we are still doing good. When we reach 28 miles per hour, I'm gonna reintroduce the air brake. Come on. Just a tiny bit more. Okay, back to minimum reduction. But before the brakes will kick in, might be some time. Oh no, they actually kicked in immediately. Okay, we are slowing down to 26 miles per hour. Very good. So far we are doing great. But I wonder what other obstacles there are on the way. Okay, for a brief moment, I think the next signal was yellow. This is a very important information. Because that might mean there is a train up ahead. And it might be moving on the same tracks. So if I will keep too high speed, I will eventually have to stop. And bringing this bad boy to a stop on a very steep hill might not be the best idea. Obviously it's not impossible. As you can see, I don't have to add that much of of air brakes to assist with dynamic braking. But it might still be challenging. We're gonna find out about it in about 2 miles. Okay, the speed limit should soon increase to 35 miles per hour. That will definitely allow us to progress a little bit faster. Okay, we are about to hit 27 miles per hour. Well, 28. Yeah, the train is rapidly speeding up. I'm gonna reintroduce air brakes. Oh! Oh! Okay. That was unexpected. I completely forgot about that nasty speed limit in here. And I went over. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, not a big deal. It was just a brief moment. Oh, okay. Okay, okay. That wheel slip was dangerous. I don't know what was that, but definitely that wheel slip wasn't good. Okay. I will reduce dynamic brake down to notch 6 for now. so we can regain some speed. I always keep forgetting that there is that cheeky little speed limit here that drops speed from 35 to 25 miles per hour. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not happy that this speed limit is here. Because you get no indication on that whatsoever. You just pass the signal and it's there. It already applies. And yeah, that sudden drop is... it's like, if you don't remember about it, you will always overshoot it. That's how this map is designed. And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, it's not exactly the most appropriate way to do that. If there are temporary speed limits on certain parts of the track, well, at least you would expect you're gonna get information about it. At least, like, you're gonna get a document that will tell you, hey, from this to this mile on this track, we got a specific speed limit that applies only for this part. Anyway, the speed is slowly climbing, very slowly, thankfully. Okay, we got to. We are almost an hour into this scenario. And so far we are doing pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go down to notch 5. Let's see if I can gain some extra speed. I'll try to reach 20 miles per hour, because traveling all the way at 15 or 16 is not super exciting. Okay. Well, the helper tells me that the new speed limit is 35 miles per hour, but I doubt it. It might be just very temporary. So there's no chance I'm gonna go that far. Okay, let me reduce dynamic brake down to notch 3. Automatic brakes are released, I'm sure about it. Okay, but it doesn't look like the speed is... Okay, it is climbing. That's very good. Okay, so I think we will be able to get to some more appropriate speed on this route. Yeah, 10 or 15 miles per hour. Oh my goodness me, it would take ages for us to get to Cumberland. Probably many of you did that route during fully fueled scenario. Obviously traveling in the opposite direction, trying to desperately climb uphill. And many of you probably remember how hard it is to go through this route when your train is barely able to pull the cargo. Okay. Going up to notch 5 on dynamic brake, notch 6. Ooh. I think the speed is still climbing. Okay, all the way to notch 8. Let's see if we can stop this increase. It doesn't look like we did. Okay, I will introduce minimum reduction on the brakes. I don't want to go over the speed limit. I will slow down to 22 and then release the brakes. Okay, brakes are released. And let's see if the train will keep slowing down because of the dynamic brake, or if we found more or less balance point. Okay, the train is still slowing down. I shall reduce dynamic brake to notch 7 and let's see if that helps. Okay, speed is climbing again. But the hill becomes less steep. We just reached that part of the route where obviously the hill is not as steep as it used to be, but we can still go back to notch 8. 7.5 miles to go to Hindman, and as we all know, Hindman is just a very short distance away from Cumberland. Okay, we can help ourselves with automatic brake. Again, I will slow down to 22 miles per hour. Okay, perhaps 23 will be more appropriate. Let's see if that will balance things out. I think we are still slowing down, but the brakes might still be releasing in some of the wagons. Apparently, releasing the brakes takes much longer than introducing the brakes, which, well, sounds quite normal in some circumstances. But for such a long train, even introducing the brakes should be a little bit longer. In fact, it should be much longer, because too harsh braking with like 500 tons behind you is not a great idea. I'm absolutely sure about it. Anyway, I can reduce dynamic brake to notch 3. And perhaps I could go even lower. But it's just for a brief moment. Yeah, let's go down to notch 2. Let's give our locomotives a little bit rest for now. It won't take long, however. That's just one of those short and brief moments where we can relax and just enjoy the ride. Okay, another screenshot taken. Very good. Speed is increasing. good. Good, good, good. Is that a whistle board? No, that's a speed limit board. Well, that one's set 35 miles per hour, but as you can see, in just 400 yards, it goes back down to 30. And I believe it won't go above 25 anyway. That speed limit would probably apply to like a single locomotive, because, well, that's when you actually have enough time to modify your speed by that much. With that heavy train, oh my goodness me, I wouldn't even have time to properly manage my speed if I would like to strictly stick to those speed limits. Anyway, we went back to notch 4 on dynamic brake. So far we managed to catch the incline at the right moment. So things are looking good. 6.8 miles to go to Hindman. Ooh, we are actually slowing down. So let's reduce dynamic brake by a notch. Right, so technically the scenario was claiming it's gonna take 90 minutes, which is 1.5 hours. I genuinely and honestly doubt we will be able to finish this scenario in the next 28 minutes. I think it's gonna take us at least another 45, perhaps 60 minutes before we can actually finish this scenario. We should reach Hindman in good 15 minutes at least. That's at least 15 minutes. Okay. Another whistle board. Okay. Things are looking pretty good. The incline should start increasing really soon. So the wagons will start pushing on us a little bit stronger than they do right now. Just over 6 miles to go to reach Hindman. At which point we pretty much will be able to speed up to 50 miles per hour. It will help us regain some time, but obviously we won't be able to carry on at speed of 50 for too long. It's probably like a 10-minute route. And then there is a series of nasty speed limits. And most likely at the entry to Cumberland, or so-called viaduct junction, we will have to stop at the red signal and ask for permission to enter the yard. So there is no need for us to actually rush too hard, because we will soon have to stop anyway. Okay. So far we're doing good. Technically the speed limit should be 30 miles per hour, but I want to be really careful on that. It looks like it might stay for longer, so I will keep notch 3 and let the locomotive, well, let the train to actually gain that speed on its own. The incline should start increasing really soon. We are less than 6 miles away from Hindman. But there's still a long way to go. Sadly, this scenario is definitely not designed to give us those nice views. We don't really see that much this time. Oh, I can actually reduce the dynamic brake to notch 2. Perhaps it will help us gain some speed. Okay, things are looking good. Okay, let's go back to notch 3. Alright. Let's increase the dynamic brake to notch 5. Ooh, and the speed is still increasing. Can we eventually prevent that? No, not really. We're gonna help ourselves with some air brakes. In 2.3 miles, we got yellow signal. So I think that confirms my small theory. We might be trailing another train. So we need to be very careful on that. Right. Let's go down to notch 4 on dynamic brake. And that still seems a little bit excessive. Let's drop it to notch 3. It should be more appropriate. And the time seems to be right. As we hit 26 miles per hour. Okay, 5.5 miles to go. Technically, with that speed, it should take us roughly 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, let's go up by a notch on dynamic brake. Still no change. Oh, 29. And we are entering the tunnel. There we go. Up by another notch. Let's reintroduce air brakes for a moment. To help ourselves keep the speed. Let's drop it to 27. Okay, 27 seems appropriate. Okay, it's gonna take some time before we will be able to get back to external camera, unfortunately. Every time train passes the tunnel, it is impossible to switch to external camera. Okay, the speed is still increasing. I will go up by a notch. And let's see if that will stop it. I don't think we're gonna stop it with that. Okay, let's set the brakes to minimum reduction. We can go back to external camera. Let's drop the speed again down to 27 miles per hour. Okay, very good. Alright, 960 yards to first yellow signal. Let's go up by another notch on dynamic brakes. Let's see if that will stop us from speeding up. There is slight change to the power, but unfortunately the speed is still increasing. Back to minimal reduction. Okay. Once more, let's drop it down to 27. Let's go up to notch 8 on dynamic brake. Okay, 2.2 miles until another yellow signal. The speed is still increasing, so I will definitely help myself with some more air brakes. Back to minimum reduction again, just to control the speed at all times, especially that very soon I will most likely have to stop, or at least I will be expecting red signal, which might clear as soon as we cross the checkpoint at Hindman, or it might not. So I'd rather be prepared to stop and stop at the signal if it won't change, than to rush at 27 miles per hour and see the signal not changing in front of me and wasting all that time I just spent. Because that's what you are playing against. If you rush too hard, if you get too cocky on your throttle, or if you don't reduce the speed on time, you might not be able to stop at the red signal. And as soon as your front axle reaches the signal, that counts as passing signal at danger, and unfortunately you will have to repeat the whole scenario, or at least you will have to restart at last checkpoint, which in this case are conveniently close to each other. But in real life, remember, you don't have a checkpoint, and if you pass signal at danger, you might really be in danger. Okay. We are getting much closer to Hindman. It's just 3 miles left. Okay. Back to minimum reduction. Let's drop the speed down to 27. There we go. Okay, 2.7 miles to go. And back to minimum reduction again. Let's drop the speed a little bit more this time. Okay, 26 miles per hour should be sufficient. Oh, there we go. There is finally some more traffic on this route. Things are going really slow tonight. Or today. We haven't seen that many trains on this route. If I remember correctly, during fully fueled scenarios, there was much more traffic. But I guess it was just one busy day. Okay, we still don't have confirmation about next signal. Let's go back to minimum reduction on the brakes. 2.5 miles to go to Heinemann. And no confirmation what's the next signal. So normally I would be slowly getting ready to stop. But obviously things might quickly change. Okay, I can release the brakes. For some reason, I'm not getting any information about upcoming signal. This is really disturbing, because I'm expecting next signal to be red. And I hope it's not just a bugged UI that is not updating correctly. But one can only hope. Okay, 2.3 miles to go to reach Heinemann. Okay, the speed is slightly reduced. Okay. Two miles to go. Okay, so far things are looking really good. I think is that a whistle board? No, that's not a whistle board. Oh, that's just a... Okay. I thought those, like, plants were hiding a whistle board. But they didn't. Okay, we now reached a speed limit of 50. It doesn't apply yet, and the next signal is red. There's no need to rush. We still got quite some distance to go. But really soon we should be able to actually increase our speed. So as long as we won't be held back at this signal, things should go smooth from now on. Oh, okay. It's another whistle board. The speed limit is now 50. But obviously I'm approaching red signal. There's no chance I'm gonna speed up just yet. Because I can never be sure if that signal will change when I reach Heinemann. I do hope it will. But I find it a little bit inappropriate that the game does such thing every single checkpoint. Signals should be set throughout entire route as long as there is no other train on the tracks. So I assume we are chasing another train and that signal might need some time to change. And hopefully my theory is wrong. Okay, 31 miles per hour is fairly good speed. We can keep it that way. I think it's not raining as much as it used to, is it? Yeah. The weather is just slightly improving. Okay. We still got 1 mile to go to Heinemann. I shall slow down just a bit to prepare myself more to eventually stop. I have to remember that Hindman, or at least checkpoint at Hindman, is just half a mile away from the red signal. So until I clearly find out if the signal is clear, I'm not gonna speed up to 50. Normally I would already be hitting like 48, 50. Okay, the signal changed. So I'll drop the power handle to setup, and I will just let the train to roll on its own. There is no need to use any fuel to speed up, because the train will eventually do that on its own, and it will gain speed quite fast. Okay, so we have to stop at location Cumberland, receiving yard, track 7 in 13 miles. Obviously it's not gonna take long before we reach that. For most of the part we will be traveling at around 50 miles per hour. But we first need to reach that speed. We are already late, that's without any doubt. The recording time of this video is already hitting 27, almost 28 minutes. So no chance I'm gonna hit 90 minutes mark in this scenario, but well, it's not a secret that many of the scenarios designed by Dovetail are actually impossible to finish within the time limit while also following all the traffic rules. Yes, I could eventually just break the speed limits here and there and probably travel at like 35 miles per hour on a descent, and in most cases I would be able to like hit that 1.5 hour limit. But yeah, no chance when you try to follow traffic rules. Like, it's this scenario should be rated at 120 minutes, because that's roughly how long it will take in any setting or scenario. It's just too long route. Anyway, we are quickly approaching Cumberland, receiving yard, track 7. Obviously, really soon we will have to slow down, but for now, as you can see, letting the train roll, well, increased our speed up to 41 miles per hour, and we will be going much faster than that. Because the tracks are going downhill pretty much all the way, and I will have plenty of time to slow down. I need to remember that there is very likely gonna be a red signal at Viaduct Junction, or they might be. And as soon as I reach Cumberland, I also need to remember to set my route to the right track, because developers might have been a bit cheeky on that, and I bet they do. And obviously Signaler is setting my route only until Viaduct Junction. On Cumberland, I need to make sure that I'm gonna arrive at the right junction. Obviously, it wouldn't be too realistic for me to like suddenly change my switches using some sort of magic button. So I do hope that they are set up correctly, because they should. Technically, there should be a yard person or someone on the yard who actually sets those manual switches for me before the train arrives, because I am being expected. There are timetables, and there are on railways for a reason, so you can expect, okay, I do expect that the next train to arrive is going to be this guy, and we want him there, so let's set the route for him. But well, we are playing Train Sim World, and there might be some weird decisions here. Okay, we managed to hit 48 miles per hour. The speed is still increasing, despite of me going on a pretty light hill. Right, let me introduce dynamic brake on notch 4. There we go. Okay. Very good. We're almost there. Less than 10 miles to go. And the Cumberland yard on its own is nearly 2 miles long. So I'm expecting that very soon we will have to slow down. But so far we are doing really great. Okay, the next speed limit is still 50. But I think there was another reduction down to like 30, and we should be approaching it quite soon. Okay, we are down to notch 1 on dynamic brake. Okay, the hill became a little bit steeper. Okay, down to notch 2. Don't want to slow down too rapidly just yet. Oh, I think I definitely missed the whistle board. Oh, there's another one. I guess I'm just losing focus a little bit, which is problematic. It is a huge problem on the railways as well. That's why normally you would have alerter, but as you can see, I'm not even sure if this locomotive is equipped with alerter. I think in order to turn it on, I would have to find a proper switch somewhere on the panel. It is definitely, yeah, it should be in. I know it's in SD 40, was it? Yeah. Yeah, SD40-2 definitely has alerter, but in order to turn it on, you have to turn it on in fuse box. I'm not sure how to turn on alerter in this locomotive, but definitely it would keep me in focus. Because right now I started to notice that I'm losing focus a little bit. And as you may or may not know, this is very dangerous situation. If you lose focus, then obviously you basically let off the control of that entire train. And what I'm traveling right now is it's like 5,600 tons of steel and cargo, or steel and coal in this case. Okay. We will have to slow down to 35 miles per hour in a very short moment. I'm gonna use dynamic brake to help to assist us in that motion. Okay, let's introduce minimal reduction on the brakes. Because that's exactly the moment I've been talking about. The speed limit is going to drop. Okay. There we go. Let's drop it slightly more. Because we are going downhill. Okay. Very good. I'm gonna stick to notch 2 on dynamic brake. .6 miles to go. Let's not fail it. We are doing great so far. Apart from a short and brief moment that we went slightly over the speed limit. Not entirely happy about that, but well. It did happen to me earlier, and well, it did happen to me during this scenario. Eventually, it might cost me a gold medal, but well. It's not the first time I'm not going to achieve a pure gold. There we go, another train going right next to us. I'm gonna reapply minimum reduction with the air brakes. And I'm gonna slow down to 30 miles per hour. Oh wow, this is a super long train. Oh, okay. Camera went a bit glitchy on this one. Okay. I'm gonna use dynamic brake to drop us below 25 miles per hour. Because that's the speed limit we are approaching right now. In just 650 yards. In fact, I'm gonna stick to... Yeah, I'm gonna jump between notch 2 and notch 3. But I shall keep us below 25 miles per hour. The problem of this section of the track is that inclines are rapidly changing. So right now it's 0.9%. Then we're gonna get into a section which has, can't remember, 0.1, and then suddenly the incline will jump to 0.7. So it's really tricky. Oh, there we go. So we got short section of even tracks right now, and then the incline will go back to 0.7. So if I will be too close to the speed limit, I might go over. And I don't really want to go over on this section of the track, because we will be going through some nasty junctions. And it would be really bad to derail. Which I doubt it will happen, but there's always a chance. Right, I'm gonna drop my speed down to 20 miles per hour. There we go. Let's reduce the dynamic brake to notch 2. I'm still gonna need... Oh, okay, I can go down to notch 1. Or in fact, yeah, let's let it coast for now. It won't last long. So I need to observe what is happening, especially on my UI this time. Because the incline will go up to 0.7. And we will be going downhill again. Okay. Right, so we can carry on at this speed for now. We are not far away, and there is no rush. 4.6 miles to go anyway, and we will pretty much cover that entire distance at a very slow speed. Because let's remember, the speed limit on... Oh, there we go. The incline is increasing, just as I said. It will soon jump to 0.7. Anyway, like, the speed limit on the Cumberland yard is 15 miles per hour, so... we are still 4.5 miles away from our final destination. But we are very close to entry to the Cumberland yard, which means that most of that distance will be covered at a speed of 15 miles per hour. Oh, that's a little bit too brief horn. Okay, let's let it coast for now. Our speed is alright, so even if the wagons will start pushing on me, I should be okay. So the signal is green, which is fantastic. The next one is already yellow. So we need to be very careful. There we go, another beautiful screenshot taken. Right, I'm gonna go up to notch 1 on dynamic brake. Might not be sufficient though, because the train just entered that 0.7-0.8% incline. So as more and more wagons will start entering this zone, obviously the train will start pushing on me harder and harder. And I need to keep myself below 20 miles per hour. I have to say that those buttons are sometimes too sensitive. It's like if you hold them for too long, you will instantly push power or dynamic brake a little bit too far. Okay. Can now fully release the throttle. Well, throttle, the dynamic brake in fact. The light is green, which is very good. Okay. And we can now slow down to 15 miles per hour in just 300 yards. We're gonna enter the Cumberland yard. Right, we are now at 15 miles per hour. We are going slightly uphill, which is good. I'm gonna set the power to notch 1 so that we can keep some speed of our train. So from now on we are finally pulling the train. We still got 3.6 miles to go. Okay, a very brief moment at which we will be going downhill. But things will quickly change. So there's no need to worry. Right. I think it's the right time to quickly check my route. Okay, okay, so I'm gonna go through the yard. And I'm gonna enter the yard. Oh my goodness me, this is, wow, far away from here. Everything seems to be set up correctly. Okay. So we can now just briefly and slightly speed up. Okay, we're gonna stay on the main track. We're gonna go through the main route, passing right next to Cumberland. Obviously we need to get through that short section where the speed limit is below 15 miles, well, below 30 miles per hour. But we will be able to speed up to 35. Definitely I won't reach that that high speed. But we might go up to like 20, 25. Because from what I've seen from the map, there is a red signal. And it might be facing our direction. Anyway. We should soon be good to speed up. There's still 3.3 miles to go. So I can... Yeah. I can guarantee you that we are way above 90 minutes right now. There's still a long way to go. Yeah. Oh. Gonna let it coast. Oh, that whistle board was for a different track. Gotta use independent brake to slow us down. Hopefully that's gonna be enough. Yeah, it is. Thankfully at such a slow speed, independent brake can actually help me. Very good. I'll just go down to like 10 miles per hour. Nah, perhaps not that low. Even though, well, I technically could, because I'm going on that 0.5% incline. So as long as the speed limit won't increase, and it will take some time before that happens, there is no need to rush. But as you can see, as soon as I release independent brake, the train begins to speed up. Okay, 30% on independent brake is that going to help me? Not really. At least not just yet. Yeah, this is a very slow section. Okay, so this time we are going to the other side of the Cumberland yards. That's why we have to travel so far. Alright, the speed limit increased, so I shall just release independent brake. Let's give it notch 3. And let's try to get through Cumberland a little bit faster. Because I don't need to travel at 13 miles per hour, that's for sure. I'm not gonna be rushing too much, because obviously soon the speed limit will drop a little bit. But I might go up to 20-25 miles per hour, that's for sure. Okay, 2.7 miles to go. We got yellow signal up ahead. And then we got green in 1.6 miles. That sounds fair. We're almost there. Just a very short distance to go, and we should be able to stop. Okay, we are now passing right next to all those sidings that we usually moved around. We've spent so much time moving all the cargo in here, isn't it? Oh my goodness me. Good old times, isn't it? Like, it brings back memories when you were the one who was standing on one of those sidings or pushing some rolling stock around it, while all those heavy trains were just passing right next to you. Anyway, we are doing 27 miles per hour. Okay, I think we can let it coast. We are going slightly on, like, slight downhill slide, so it will eventually increase our speed a little bit. I don't want to go way too much, because obviously we will have to stop eventually. And yes, we have to stop in 1.8 miles. And I assume we will have to slow down in here. So I believe that shortly after that signal, the speed limit will also change. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna go down to 15 miles per hour. That's what I thought. After all, we're gonna enter the yard. Okay. But we can rely only on air brakes. Yeah, there's no need to use anything more than that. So I shall just slow down to 50. Well, to 15, not 50. Okay. That should be good. We're gonna let it roll. And just control our speed so that we won't go over 15 miles per hour. Okay, we now got permission to enter the yard. Oh, there's that small, tricky little section where inclines are rapidly changing. And in 1.7 miles, we will have a red signal. Very good. Just perfect. Okay, let's give it notch 1 so that we can keep our speed. Okay, let's go up to notch 2. All the junctions should be set for us, and we still got 1.2 miles to go. That's quite a long distance for a 15 miles per hour speed limit. Alright. So all we have to do is to pull this train in. We need to be very careful because looks like the red signal is just in front of the stop marker. So I definitely don't want to be too fast on that one. It would be really terrible to pass signal at danger right at the very end of your trip. One mile to go. Okay, we are getting very close. How's the back of our train looking? Wow, the last wagon is just entering this yard right about now. Still got 0.7 miles to go. That's also the distance we have to go to that red signal. So it's just a few yards away from the stopping point. We need to be very careful here. .900 yards to go. Okay, I will let it coast. We are doing 12 miles per hour. The track started to go downhill a little bit, and I really don't want to go over the speed limit. And definitely I don't want to jump over that signal, which is just 70 yards behind the stopping point. We are getting very close. The speed is slightly dropping on its own, which is very good, and it's helping us. .340 yards to go. It's not long now. 300 yards. At 250 I'm gonna apply some independent brake. There we go. 25% should be sufficient. Let's slow this bad boy up. Come on, come on, come on. Let's slow it down. Ooh, I think independent brake might not be sufficient to stop us. It will definitely help. Yeah, but there's no chance it's going to stop us. At 100 yards, yeah, minimum reduction. Okay, minimum reduction seems to be doing the trick. Okay. I released the air brakes, because I still need to crawl a little bit. I will release independent brake and I will just crawl with that very slow speed. Okay, I might need to add some throttle. So I'm still 12 yards off. Yeah, I actually had to add throttle. 3 yards. 2. 1. Okay. And we can now stop. And there we go. Objective completed. So we made it. That wasn't the best stop ever, but well, it's really tough to stop at the right moment, especially when you have to stop so close to the signal. As you can see, signal is just a length, well, a single locomotive length away from my train, and I was stopping nearly like 5,800 tons. Where's the summary of my train? I don't think there is. Yeah, there's only performance thingy. Yeah. Anyway, we managed to finally, well, we managed to again achieve gold medal. So, well, that's a small sweetener to that bad taste that is left after previous 2 missions. Anyway, we spent a good 2 hours and 8 minutes traveling with that call. We managed to get to our destination successfully and safely. Right, everyone. I think that is gonna be it for today's episode, isn't it? So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are still willing to see the rest of the scenarios on this route. I think there's 4 more left. I will definitely record them, and I will try to release them over the next month. And that's gonna be the end of our journey on Sandpatch. Great. We will finish all the scenarios. Every single one of them is gonna be finished when I finally record them. I expect the next scenarios to be a bit lengthy ones, so expect a little bit longer videos. I've seen some serious manifests. I think, yeah, the next one is Manifest Cumberland to Willard. So that's another 2.5, 3 hours long trip. Then we will have, I think, I can't remember. There was something with Detroit, I think, or can't remember. So there were some longer routes, and we will probably discover a little bit different parts of that route that we haven't yet discovered. So that's a good thing. The bad thing is that those are gonna be a very, very long videos. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That really helps my channel grow, and I really like to see some more of you giving that thumbs up, thumbs down. Obviously, in both occasions, I strongly encourage you to also comment underneath my videos. And finally, if you want to get informed about my new content, hit that bell button that will appear after you subscribe. You will get that pop-up notification every time I upload a new content. Have a great day, and I'll see you all later. Later. Out.